Welcome. I decided to put together a brief video on my latest modifications, if you will, to the mill. I relocated the actual power supply box that was originally mounted on the rear of the column, as well as the power box. I used to have a rod that came out here. I extended it out a little bit further. I changed that out too. A few reasons why I did. First, I'll go over where I put it. As you can see, I've got it mounted up here on the wall. I did throw a coat of paint on it, some black paint. Just a few sides of it. It's mounted with the original hardware screw holes, rather. I used number 2 sheetrock screws. I did put, I don't know if you can see it that well or not, I put a stud in the side of it, drilled a hole, put a stud in the side of it, 1032 for the 2 ground screws that was originally attached to the rear of the column, or attached to the inside of that stud. I ran a wire from that stud. Don't remember the gauge right offhand. I believe it's 14 or 16, just a single strand. Secured that to the back of the column where it was mounted. A few reasons why I did. Primarily is for easy access, because I am going to run a speed control. From the get-go drive, G540 has a VFD speed control for the spindle, and I'm going to have easy access to get that all wired up. It runs from pin 7, 8, 9, I do believe it is, and 12 from the G540 over to pins 1, 2, and 3 on the mill board. Go down here first and I'll show you what it kind of looks like down here. Apologize if you can't see it that well. The lighting back here is not the best. In the process of getting some new lights to that eliminate that problem. As you can see, I just got it set up basically as it was before. Got the power switch there, speed control knob, the amber light, fault light, green light, power light, and the fuse. I did stumble a bit on my wiring as I was doing it. I labeled all my wiring prior to removing it from the mill. Unfortunately, I didn't use the good tape. I used cheap tape. Frog tape, I suggest you don't use it. It won't stay on very long for stuff like that. It works great for taping off moldings and whatnot if you're painting paints in your house and stuff like that, water-based paints, stuff around your moldings, your sheetrock and windows or what have you, but I didn't want to adhere too well to the wires. By the time I got around to getting it all moved back over and everything, half of my tape had fallen off, so unfortunately I had the results of the schematics on it, and locating the schematic on the X2 wiring was a bit difficult, but I did find a few of them. Figured them out. The one that I went off of, I'll put at the end of this video, also on my site, but I am going to alter it a tad on my site. When I do, I'll highlight it. The altered lines will be colored. The original has got 3 colored lines now from P1, 2, and 3. That's the actual schematic that I'm going to be using for spindle control. It's the same schematic. It shows everything. Between pin 3 and 4 for your lights. I'll highlight them 2 lines because actually what happens is it loops from your amber light to the green light. I believe it's on the negative side. Don't remember right offhand when I probed that if it was negative or positive. I think it was negative though. -0 I think it went off your side of your light for your fault mode. And I'll briefly go over what that does right now so you understand that. And as you can see, I've got everything set up. It's pretty much like it was before. I just raised that up. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but the fan's running in the box now. It's pretty quiet. Amber light's off as it should be. Green power light's on. My switch is off. Okay, I'll turn the switch on. See over the mill. It's running. It's no different really. It's just relocated pretty much. What happens, as I was mentioned, with your fault light, by running that loop over, say for an example, you forget to turn your speed control knob off and you hit your power switch. Before it comes back on, it will go into fault mode and it'll light up both your lights, your amber as well. That's the green one. You just simply turn your speed control switch back off. Just leave your switch on and turn it back on. It's good to go. Just another handy safety feature is all that is. It would be the same thing. Say for an example, you stall on your part or something like that. It'll go do the same thing. It will light up both of them lights then. That's just a safety feature. A handy one. A good idea. Whoever thought of that. Chinaman, I suppose. Not a lot to go over on this. I did take a few pictures as I was moving it all over here. A couple pictures of the back side. I trimmed the wires probably about, we'll say 3/8 to a 1/2 inch. Twisted them together, soldered them, heat shrunk them one at a time as I was doing it. What I did is once I got it all wired up, being that it was kind of hard to figure out that loop, I wired up all the wires that I knew for sure and got that all done. And as you can see, my dog, he likes to get up here and stick his nose into what's going on. But anyways, once I got that all wired up, got all the wiring done, there was obviously 2 wires, didn't have nowhere to go. All my connections were already complete, so it was very obvious that's where the loop was. Yeah, I just twisted them together, put a piece of heat shrink over it, twisted them together, soldered them, heat shrunk them. Yeah, what I did before I even soldered any of them, I ran all the wiring. Didn't put no heat shrink on it yet, didn't solder them yet or nothing. Put a couple pieces of tape on them, and I did some test on it to make sure everything was correct first. I didn't want to get it all soldered up thinking, yeah, I know I got it right, and then all of a sudden something's wrong. I've been there, done that, so I better be safe than sorry. I just went ahead and did it that way, and then once I got it all done, then I just soldered everything, put the heat shrink on the appropriate wires, soldered them, took the lighter, warmed up the heat shrink and got that all done. Very little else going on besides that. I am still awaiting the power supply. I had originally planned on going with the 350/36 and have since found out that I need to go with a higher voltage, so I had to reorder a different one, and I'm waiting on that. It's going to be the 350/48. 3648 being volts. 36 volts is not quite enough. It would work alright, but not quite enough for as many accesses as I want to run, so 48 would be more appropriate. Excuse me, more appropriate for that. Waiting on that parallel port cable, the e-stop. And what I'll probably do down here, as you can see here, I got one of the old switches off of what it's off of, right offhand, off of our old Joel presses, I believe. It's still in pretty good shape though, and them things don't ever get used much, so I've got 5 or 6 drill presses, so it just happens to be an extra one that I have. But what I'll do is I'll probably take and mount it up in this location here somewhere. I'll put my e-stop excuse me. I'll put the e-stop probably right in the center here somewhere. Mount this off to the side, or like right in the center too. I do have one more electronic gadget that I want to put in here somewhere. Don't know yet where it's going to go. Possibly bring it down in here. It's from Frozen CPU. It's a reader. I forgot exactly the number off of it. Once I get it and I get started on installing it, though, I'll put the links up on my site on that. It basically monitors the CPU temperatures, up to 4 fans, temperatures. I possibly could even run it up here to monitor these fans. I really only have to monitor the fan on a G540. Possibility I could run it over and monitor the fan inside the box on that board. I'm primarily more concerned about keeping an eye on the temperature on the computer. I am ordering a new computer system for it. It's not new, refurbished one. A Dell computer. Don't mind that noise, it's just my dog. He's very verbal. One I want to get is 300, I believe 3 megahertz, rather not 300. 500 gig hard drive. I think it was 2 or 4 gigs of RAM, of memory. It's not going to be connected to nothing besides Mach 3. There won't be no bull crap on it. Nothing to take up the reference signals, otherwise it can interfere with reference signals and cause you to lose steps. Won't have no firewall on it, no antivirus, no to speak of. Just the standard cleanup utilities that come with it. I'm going to run Windows Professional, of course. That's what I run on most of my computers. It's a proven winner. It's a very stable program. Mach 3 does, however, run on Windows 7 as well as Vista. But I'm going to stick with Windows. I don't have to get no add-ons for it, and no special updates to make this run and make that run and stuff. I don't want to get that headache. So, and sometimes it can be an extremely headache when it comes to computers. But besides that, that pretty much covers it. I just wanted to put a quick video together here on this to show you that, and like I mentioned, I'll put a couple pictures together behind this video, slideshow pictures, I suppose, pictures of my box opened up as I was installing everything. I'll go over to the mill here real quick like and show you, but I do have significant more room now on the side of it here. You can see, and it's going to be handy. It's because my lathe attachment, it sets up in this area here, so that's gonna, I'll have much more room there as far as when I'm with the bigger motor on it, bigger chuck, for what I'm doing. The 4-inch chuck will probably be sufficient. Cam grinder. It's going to mount over on this side. The cams are only 6 inches. The cranks are 7.5. Going to machine the throws, the cam lobes, a few different things I have in the works right now. I'll go over that in the future. A few 5th scale parts that I'm going to be making. A majority of everything's going to be 1/4 scale, but I do have a few 5th scale things in the works. Primarily for the Baja 5V, the hop-ups, if you will. As far as the 1/4 scale parts, like I mentioned, I'll go into that in the future. I'll go into that at another time. That pretty much covers it on this video though. Here, I just want to briefly go over how I got this here all convenient. Now it's going to be very convenient to get to. I'll run a relay to so I'll have control manually or through the CNC to be able to control the spindle. It's really going to be convenient for tool changes, for various material that I'm going to be doing. Say you got an end mill in there, it's not quite as sharp as it should be, so you're going to have to make your adjustments there and there with your spindle speeds, your climbing in, climbing out, your rapids, what have you. So that's gonna be fairly convenient doing it that way, while still being manually operated as well. It could go either or. It don't have to be that way, but I'll go with the relay. That runs the blade between pin 10 and 12 on a G540 if I'm correct. That will come in really handy for when I need a jog and access this direction or that direction. Say for an example, I don't have a program drawn and I'm manually machining a part. I'll have full control as far as my MPG jogging with my keys, whichever access, as well as my speed control. So I'm trying to think ahead, as I mentioned before, I always do. Less headaches that way. But that pretty much covers this video together, I guess. Thanks for taking the time to view this video.